Hey there, Games Apprentice back with another Evercade video, and this week I'm going to be looking at the Irem Arcade Collection 1. There's only 6 games on this one, so they're all going to be good, right? Let's find out. Irem began its life as IPM, International Playing Machine Co. Limited in 1974, with company founder Kenzo Sugimoto indulging his fascination for interactive gaming hardware by building and installing video game machines. IPM released its first internally developed video games in 1978, but it didn't score its biggest hits until the 80s, after it found itself needing to change its name for trademark reasons. IREM, which stands for International Rental Electronics Machines, saw big success, particularly with 1982's Moon Patrol and 1987's R-Type. Both of these can be enjoyed on this collection. Sugimoto left Irem in 1983 and founded Capcom, but Irem continued to create incredible classic arcade titles that left a strong impact on gaming history. The name Irem means nothing to me. I'm familiar with R-Type, but I've never liked it, so it doesn't bode well if that's the cat seller. Anyway, here are the games ranked from worst to best. This one's a weird little arcade take on American football, where you only play the attacking team, which is fine as that's the most fun part. The ball is kicked by the computer, you catch it and run upfield as far as you can, pretty normal for an American football game. However, the first indicator that something's a bit different here is when you try and move about with the ball, and you realise that you're actually controlling the entire team in some sort of human shield. Anyway, best case scenario here, you'll get around the 50-yard mark and then the crap begins. The rest of the game basically consists of you deciding which gap to send your runner through and then trying to throw them the ball. The problem here is how difficult it is to do this. It seems to just be rather luck than skill. You don't seem to throw it very high. If there's a computer player anywhere in the line of throw, they'll intercept it. It's so difficult to get anywhere in this game that it becomes frustratingly dull, and you'll never want to put yourself through it again. Painful. When I saw the controls for lightning swords, I knew it wasn't going to be a fun game. It's basically an action platformer where you can jump, move and strike. As you can probably imagine, this gets very old very quickly. There's nothing in the way of entertaining animations or fun combos either. It's fast, but it's just not very fun. It feels like it would have been a lot better if you could shoot instead of strike with your sword. Stuff like this that don't have a dodge beyond jump are just far too simplistic to be fun. Some of the bosses seem to be massively unfair too. I mean, you can easily just get unlimited continues by topping up your credit with the select button, but I just don't see the point of playing arcade games in those instances unless they're really fun to look at, and this isn't. Moon Patrol is an interesting idea. It looks really basic, but the gameplay is not too bad. In this one you can shoot and jump, and when you shoot both forwards and upwards. The challenge of this one is basically the multitasking of watching the stuff in the sky that you need to shoot, whilst also keeping an eye on any craters to jump in the terrain. It's pretty colourful and the sound effects are okay, but everything about it is pretty much what you'd expect from a 1982 arcade game. Kind of fun for a few minutes, but definitely shouldn't be the 4th best game on any collection. I first played R-Type at my friend's house on the Sega Master System at a birthday party. He had this and Golden Axe. I don't know what happened at that birthday party, perhaps I've repressed it, but I've never liked the Master System, Golden Axe, R-Type, or my friend's creepy uncle. I've always felt in the minority though, as plenty of people I've spoken to hold them in high regard. This version of R-Type is the arcade version rather than the Master System port, but it still has the same issues I've always had with R-Type. It's not good enough or interesting enough for how difficult it is. I'm not adverse to challenge in a game, but it has to be enjoyable and some of the cool mechanics or something to keep you going. And R-Type doesn't really have that, it's just a basic shooter. Sure, it's got some cool looking bosses and you can upgrade your weapon to do some serious damage, but like most people, I'm never going to have the patience to get far enough to see any of that, and from what I've seen of it, it doesn't remotely seem worth it. Maybe it was worth it in 1987, but there are far better and more thrilling space shoot-em-ups on the Evercade than this. This one's a pretty cute little shooter. In it you control a helicopter that can shoot forwards as well as launch rockets upwards and drop bombs on the ground. Its most interesting mechanic though is how you get power-ups. Instead of just finding them, you find little shops that sell them, and you've got to have collected enough money. Both the shops and money tend to be hidden away within destructible rocks, meaning that not only are you fighting enemies, but you're constantly trying to destroy everything around you with the various arsenal weaponry. It's a cool concept, as you've got to weigh up the risk and reward of going for money and upgrades. You can easily just fly past enemies and not bother, but then you'll be under-equipped later on. However, if you stick around too long shopping, then you might get taken out by one of the many enemies trying to stop you, and all your time and money is going to have gone to waste. Whilst not quite a gem of the week, In the Hunt was a real treat. In this one you control a submarine that can shoot torpedoes in the water and rockets above you. If you surface, you can also shoot rockets into the sky. The art style is the first thing about this one that jumped out at me. It definitely got some Metal Slug vibes go for it. And the explosion and rocket fire animation underwater both look particularly cool. Other than boss levels, similar to the previous game, you're free to go at your own pace, which is refreshing to see with constantly moving screen shooters you usually get. The negatives of it are that it's pretty difficult. It's another one where it's clearly been designed to make as much money as possible as an arcade game, especially once you get past the first level. And it's not even fair difficulty. There's many places where your only option is to be shot, such as a boat waiting for you at the end of a small gap in a tunnel. Still, it's cool enough that you'll be pumping those fictional 10p's into it to increase your continues and see more of the game. Honestly, if this game didn't come with the Evercade EXP, I'd be pissed off if I bought it. The audacity to only put 6 games on this collection at the quality they're at is simply not good enough. 2 of the games are just shit, and the top 2 games are not good enough to sell this cart. I don't know if it's just my ignorance, but I'd never heard of IRM before this cart, and I don't understand why anyone would want to buy a cart with 6 games on it when R-Type's the only big name and the rest aren't quality. It feels like a lazy effort for something that's so late in the Evercade's life. It's really only shoot 'em up enthusiasts. For that reason, I'm going to score this one a pretty poor 4.5 out of 10. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you click subscribe for more of my content. I'll catch you next time.